2003, I was 23 years old. At that time, recession was happening. I was a fresh grad, jobs were scarce. Hope was a myth. So we huddled friends to give collective hope. And I took the leadership to teach everybody the language Java. In that group, there was my crush, Veena. Now, you know where the story is going, right? I used to teach Java. We had a whiteboard. I used to write programs, and I'll go home, read, and people used to learn. But that particular morning, as I turned, people were snickering. And I figured out that there's something wrong. As I started turning, the snickering, the giggling kept growing till I told, what's happening? As if I did not get the joke, Veena stands up and tells, you have a sticker and tags on your pants. So my crush is telling me about that. Sheer utter embarrassment. I tore off the stickers and continued my life. But I had the final laugh because Veena is still at home cooking meals for me. You see, friends, stories have power. Our personal stories. These are not somebody else's stories. And when we weave personal stories into our speeches, it draws the audience in. We, the speaker and the audience, share the same emotion. If the speaker feels that emotion, the audience feels the emotion too. In your Toastmaster journey, you are preparing a speech. Many times you will run out of ideas and you'll hit a plateau. You don't turn up to meetings and then you gradually fade away. Today I'm going to tell you a small framework. If you can apply it every single time, you'd never run out of ideas. I call it my personal story framework. Now, what is that personal story framework? And how does it start? Who were 10-year-old ones in your life? I think everybody, right? Or we have some 9-year-olds now. What happened to you on that particular year? Were you at school? Mostly at school? Probably 7th or 8th grade? And you see where I'm going. I'm taking you back in time to that point of that 10-year-old. What happened to you? So we put in the time, then we are putting in a place. Where are you? I'm at school. What am I doing? I'm sitting at the last bench listening to my history teacher. I'm not understanding the dates. I'm struggling with the dates. Then what happened? And this is where you and your earlier self speak and have that conversation. A personal story, if you have observed from my initial story of my tags, is a slice of your life. In Hollywood, Bollywood, and all these woods, we are told that story has to have a beginning, end. That is a story, but it is not a personal story. A personal story belongs to you. As you go there, you put in, why are you remembering that day? If I ask my 10-year-old self, that day I forgot to do my homework. That day was the first day after I returned from my school holidays. I don't recollect what I learnt. The teacher asked me to stand up, asked me some questions. I had no clue. Teacher called me in and with her knuckles, pierced my skull, hit 3 times. I fainted. And that is the power of personal story. I drew you into my story, into my world. Now let's walk further. You are 15, let's say 18. That's your peak of your teenage years. I was a revolutionary. I skipped my exams. Because why? Because I could. And later on, I don't know about the suffering, but my parents were super angry. You should have been at that place when I came home that day. My grandma looked at me with her fiery eyes. And you see, I'm just narrating this slice of life. So my friends, if you take these moments, I want you to shut that phone down. Walk with yourself every past year and put the date and try hard to recollect. You would think, how can I recollect when I'm 5-year-old? How? Don't go to 5 directly. Walk through and you will pick those defining moments that have shaped you. And each story are like diamonds. They have multiple facets. And why it is so personal? Because you have cherished it in your heart. And my friends, you'll never run out of stories. I still remember when I was 3-year-old. That particular night, my grandpa had an accident, and I still remember I was carried into the hospital by my grandma. I still remember this tension. So my message to you, and I'm not closing the story deliberately, because I have you there, and you'd be asking what happens next. And that is the beauty of the storyteller. You ask the audience lingering for more. I want you to speak to me and ask me, explain to me what happened to your grandpa? Did he survive? What happened? In the end, this is your stories. And it's beautiful because the world craves for your stories. Change the world one story at a time.